here at Island Fishing Tackle. Welcome, everybody. It's great to be with you all. I'm just getting our camera situated perfectly, and then I'm actually going to jump in there with Sam. It's great to see you all, and of course, tonight, as always, we'll be talking about the hot bites and how you can catch more fish in those bites. Sam, great to see you, my friend.
Yep.
We spent some time together already over at United Composites, right?
Right.
And why don't you tell everybody about what we were doing, because it has something to do with this Saturday, and it's going to be a big deal.
So Randy was nice enough to make a couple items for the show, for the barbecue, and I went down there to pick them up. So there were a few rods. I think you're going to post about them here tomorrow morning.
Yes.
United Composite rods. Some items that he's never made before, and some items he hasn't made in a long time.
Right.
And they're going to be kind of really cool, one-of-a-kind items that you have to go down to the barbecue to check out.
Excellent. I can't wait. Man, that was fun. It was good to see Randy. I haven't seen him for a long, long time. You probably have, huh?
Yeah. I've seen him through the years. Yeah.
Steve! Where are you going?
Oh, you guys are having too
You
much
can't
fun.
leave without. Come on, Matt! Oh, they're leaving us alone.
They're done.
I hear some noise. Oh,
You
yeah.
guys like it by yourself.
All right. Are we too close on this thing, do you think?
It
or?
looks like it. Yeah, I think so.
It's not that
we
bad,
can back
though.
up, I guess.
No, yeah, we could, or I'll go out there and move it.
Yeah, maybe move it.
All right, perfect. Let me go do that. All right, Sam, so we got to talk what's biting. You got some new jigs tonight. The Lakers are playing. I've got a bet with Scott Buchert. I've got Denver tonight, so all of you out there, please keep us in touch with what's going on. I'm not sure who's winning that game so far. All right, let's get into some of the comments. Dan Smith is with us. Travis Bright. Travis, always good to see you, my friend. I saw you. Travis was on our trip on the Endeavor. We had a really fun trip. Wish we would have found the sea bass, but great times. Dave Clark says, hola, amigos. Turbo T2. Let's go. School's about to start. Chuck Zimmer, let the good times begin. We have to talk about Chuck here in a moment. Good evening, Friedman Adventures family, says our good friend Gerard Perlas. Christopher Bailey is with us saying good evening. Man, we got a ton of people already here with us, Sam, and I got to tell you how grateful I am for that. Jack Machado says hello all. So, you want me to talk about what's biting right now and lead into it, or do you want to start with some new stuff right off the bat?
You guys want to know what's biting for sure.
Okay, so, and you know as well as I do, so we can just kind of have a discussion about it. So, down in San Diego, that bluefin bite's off the bite right now, pretty much. I talked to a guy that was on the American Angler. I think they had 8 fish last night. Pegasus almost had, I mean, here we say it's off the bite. Pegasus almost had limits, you know. They had 10 last night, and they had like 9 the night before, so they were real close to limits. And all these guys are having this phenomenal rock fishing. And a lot of guys don't like rock fishing, and they think it's just, oh, man, a lot of money to go rock fishing. I get that. I love rock fishing, man. I look at those catches, like that American Angler catch that Tim shared with us. Man, they're just messing them up. They're nice big ones. Yeah, Jacob on the Pegasus held up this salmon grouper, Boccaccio, and I guessed that at 16 pounds. He was pushing it out a little bit, but it was big. And
it's a big one.
He weighed it. It was 15 pounds. Wow. It was gorgeous, man. So that's what's going on down there. Now, there is some exceptional kelp patty yellowtail fishing going on for the full day guys. I mean, the Grande, the Liberty, the San Diego have all had good shots of that, and they also have the potential for a good bite on the bluefin tuna that's mixed in with it. Yeah. So really good on the yellowtail, mostly 5 to 10 pounds. So we'll go back over. How about we go back over this and talk about what tackle to use, and then we'll just get into San Clemente Island. There's some awfully big yellowtail out there.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Not a lot, but good
ones,
shot. Yeah, big ones, and. Then there's that sprinkling, sometimes more than a sprinkling, of halibut up and down the coast. We see that at the islands. And Channel Islands have been off on the sea bass bite, but that's due to come roaring back at any time. We've seen some really good scores up there recently. The Endeavor, Tucker took Mother's Day off to celebrate with his wife, Brittany, and his new baby. And so who runs the Islands Fair? Cody Rogers came over and ran the boat. I think he had 24 halibut.
So crazy.
Man, that is some good halibut fishing, right?
Yeah, that's stuff you see up north or something like that, I mean, it's incredible. I was just talking to somebody today. I don't know how many halibut have been caught over 20 pounds this year. I mean, it must be 100 or more.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I know. I mentioned to somebody, isn't this an exceptional halibut year? And he goes, it's about average. And I'm like, no way.
I've never heard of this many.
No, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, guys are targeting them. I mean,
Yeah.
and catching them really good. I mean, yeah, guys can go do a halibut drift and catch 3 or 4, something like that, if you're lucky. But I mean, these guys are catching 15, 20, 30, 40 fish. I mean, that's crazy.
Right. Out of 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, 2 boats are running here in the next few days. Wednesday night, you have the Apollo on a day-and-a-half trip, I believe it is. So he's going and going to focus on sea bass and halibut. And then Saturday night, a great day-and-a-half trip on board the Freedom. Tino Valentine, good buddy of mine, he said that they're all in for sea bass and halibut. That's what they're trying to catch. They should have live squid. And $325 for a day-and-a-half trip is very reasonable, if you ask me.
We were just talking to Scott about the weather. It looks like it's going to be laying down over the weekend.
I believe Scott's on the Aztec tomorrow out of San Diego, so we'll be getting no updates from that. You know how reliable he is. And but yeah, he'll be out there. And I was looking at the weather for him. He tried to get me to tell him what the weather was going to be like in
every
2025.
Yeah, every half an hour.
Yeah. So there's a lot going on, and then of course we've got the surf fishing tournament.
Yep.
This weekend, people can come here to Island Fishing Tackle this Saturday morning, right? 5 a.m.?
5 a.m.
Really?
You said you're going to be here.
Yeah. Am I? I'm going to do the morning briefing from here then.
I'll get here as soon as you get here.
So it's $20. You can come down here and sign up. I highly recommend you do. Big Fish Bait and Tackle also. You can sign up there. You can sign up at 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro and at the Redondo Rod and Gun Club. Great banquet at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday. Saturday, let's get everybody caught up on everything. CCA, that's going to be a great event. Why don't you tell everybody about that?
Yeah, it's going to be Saturday 11 to 3 at the Compton Rod and Gun Club. Phil's going to put the particulars about the address and stuff like that tomorrow morning in this morning briefing. But you can just look up our CCA California website, and under the tab for events, you'll see the LA South Barbecue come up. And so you can actually pre-purchase a ticket there. Or if you wanted to, you can just come down to the event and you can pay at the gate. So either way you want to get down there, there's going to be a ton of fun stuff going on, along with a bunch of raffles and auctions. Some really cool stuff. A lot of guys have donated a lot of really, really cool stuff. And so it should be a really great event. Everybody should have a really great time. And as part of your entry, it's $75 to go. That includes 1 year of membership to CCA, so you got that taken care of if you haven't already joined up. If you already have for this year, it basically tacks on next year's membership, so you got that taken care of. Along with the $70, you're also going to get a full, a huge spread. They have this buffet. I think it's called Santa Maria Barbecue. I mean, the place.
Oh, really?
It's so
tri-tip?
Tri-tip, ribs, the works. So just a giant spread. I've done it before. It's really, really good food. And so that comes with your ticket. I think you're pouring in this beer or something like that. I don't know what you're doing.
Oh, no, I'm not. Am I pouring? No, I'm pouring beer after. I'm going at the Orange County Fairgrounds, believe it or not.
Yeah, I think they're providing free drinks with the whole deal.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so it's going to be a fun day.
Yeah, it should be great. And I have to tell you, I am so honored to be the MC. Sam, it means a lot to me. And I asked the guys from CCA why they chose me, and man, they said everybody else turned them down.
Couldn't find nobody else, yeah.
All right, so I was like number 15 on the list. So.
They got there pretty quick.
Yeah, really. All right, hey, Peter Cepeda says, hello, guys. David Alcantar is saying, let's go Lakers. Oh, he's on Scott Buchard's side here. Hey, David, come on. Fisherman Doug says, hello. Peter Cepeda. JRI season?
Yeah, it's coming up.
Yep. Slam and Sammy. Hello, Friedman family. Can't wait for a great show. I'm going on an overnight this weekend out of 22nd Street Landing. Mind showing me a good halibut rig and setup for fluke for white sea bass. Yeah, we can do that, right? Yeah. We should tie up that dropper loop probably and show you that. Definitely Slam and Sammy. We'll do that. Steve O Fishing, Albacore, ? Well, there was some breaking news on Albacore. Not really,
again,
but...
Right?
Huh?
They caught them again?
Yeah, they're coming.
Yeah.
They're coming. So Tom Holland, who's an old captain, he's in contact with many of the commercial boys, and he says in the next week to 10 days, they're going. Many of them are going south, which they haven't done for a long time, but they like what they're seeing, too. Okay. We should know something in the next 10 days. You know, like if they get out there and there's nothing there,
You're gonna know that.
it's over. And I've done it again. You know, I need to predict no albacore. And
Yeah, yeah.
Then it's going to be wide open.
It's way easy.
Carlos, you made the copious fishing information flow.
Yes.
Absolutely. Carlos, thanks so much. Joel Lopez, hey guys, good to see you. Wish me luck this week. Going on the Pride with my dad, reverse day and a half this Thursday. Joel, I don't know how much luck you need with how hard those guys fish. Man,
You're in the right hands.
Sean Roberts, man, I got a lot of respect for
Gets it
how
done.
hard he fishes. Scott Buchert. I don't know if I should read his questions tonight. I'm mad at him. You heard how disrespectful he was to me.
Yeah, I don't know. that guy.
You're all for it, huh? Or
Yeah, I'm not sure disrespectful is. Yeah, it's kind of right on par. I don't know.
you nailed it, huh?
Yeah.
All right, Scott says, should you use an SK jig or sinker jig for nighttime bluefin tuna fishing?
I know that SK jig has been pretty hot. I
It
mean,
has.
Yeah, guys have been using the rip rollers as well and some other stuff, but I know that SK jig has been one that a lot of my customers have been coming through and saying that it works good for them. So
Tim Marquez was on the American Angler, and he said it was all SK jigs
Yeah.
the night that I talked to him.
Yeah.
That was last night, I believe. So there you go, Scott. Don't bother us anymore tonight. Fisherman Doug, did you see the clip of the big bluefin caught on a half-day boat out of Newport? Was that today?
I think that was a clip of a tuna they caught a few years ago.
Oh,
That
okay.
was pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I did see that. I
think.
saw something like that. Yeah. David Rosenthal, I have a Talica 12 single speed that I inherited. Any suggestions on line size rod and application?
Yeah, maybe a yo-yo rod or yo-yo reel for, it's a single speed reel. Normally that Talica guys are using, it's a 2-speed reel, but being as a single speed reel, it'll hold plenty of spectrum, maybe 300 yards of 65 and some 40 or 50 pound on top of that. And I'd probably use that for a yo-yo. Yo-yo reel would be pretty good.
Hey, before we forget, do you want to get into the fluke and the dropper loop rig, Slam and Sammy? I don't want to ignore his question, and then we can catch up with the rest of these guys
Yeah, sure.
in a second
So-
or not? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I kind of already got them up here. We got restocked on the white flukes. This is actually a product from Southern Impact, and very similar to the fluke we were selling a couple weeks ago, the Zoom fluke, which works really good too. But they're out of stock right now, and so these guys from Southern Impact came in on the clutch here and got us restocked on the large white fluke. As far as your lead head, I know it's something that we were out of stock as well until just recently. I got to find a way to open this here, but we got stocked up on these again, and these are the Get Some heads from Dolphin Tackle, and these have been by far the preferred head for this fluke here. And so you're basically just putting these two guys together, right in there, just like that. Pretty simple. Doesn't need to be weedless because most of that sea bass fishing has been kind of in the shallow water in the sand there.
Right.
Not a whole lot of it's been up on the kelp. But
So Sam, more importantly, how do you fish that thing?
So I mean, you're pumping it like you're pumping a squid on a lead head. I mean, these lead heads actually have been used for a few years with just a squid
Yeah.
themselves. And so you cast the thing out, and you want to try to be in the current. And normally that's where you're at. You're in the current with the sea bass, and you're kind of pumping the rod, just kind of pumping wine, and you're swimming it back. Not real fast like yo-yo, and you're not jerking the rod real hard, but you're in your mind you're kind of trying to imitate a squid.
Okay.
And, they're kind of more of a rhythmic type of swimming. So
Yes.
That's what you're trying to do here. And these lead heads have these little wings on them, if you guys could kind of see those. And that kind of helps to kind of help it kind of glide as
that's cool.
you're going. It'll plane more than it'll glide. I
Yeah.
shouldn't say plane, glide. But it'll plane a little bit. It'll go down like that. It'll plane up like that. So it's a really, really good lead head for these guys. And that primarily has been the way to get them. The other way has been the dropper loop.
Right.
Which is easy. You just tie a loop into your line and have a hook on one end and a sinker on the other. I think they've been using 3 to 6 ounce weights depending on your current, but probably most common your 4 ounce weight torpedo.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And for Slam and Sammy, if he doesn't know how to tie that dropper loop, just walk up to a crew member and ask them what rig is best.
Right,
Because
right,
that could
right.
change.
Yeah, they'll tie that pretty quick. So I would definitely recommend maybe having one setup with a dropper loop and having another setup with this fluke. Probably be the way to go. Maybe your 30 or 40 pound setup, maybe a 30 pound setup with bait, and maybe a 40 pound setup with the jig. Probably be the way to go.
Greg Bates is here. He drove all the way from he lives out
Yeah,
near
you're
Rancho
saying.
Cucamonga.
Jeez.
He made homemade ceviche, and he's going to serve it to us here shortly.
That is pretty cool, man.
What do you think, man? Here's another guy. You better let him in. All right, let me ask a few more questions here as we go along. Hope you're all doing well. Anybody wants to put a Lakers score up there for me once in a while? As I say, I have a bet with Scott Buchert, and I want to make sure that I'm stomping him into the dirt on that. Bob Gifford is here. Oh, I don't know where he's at, man. He's back there. There he is, everybody. Chewy, SoCal. Hello from Temecula. I'm booked for a day-and-a-half trip in mid-June. Excited to get back on the ocean. Chewy, hope you have a great trip. Joel Lopez. Seems like the bite that happened this week on the white sea bass was dropper loop fishing. Did they move off from the leadhead and squid, sliders, or flukes? Or did they just fish deeper? A lot of that, wow, that looks good.
Pretty good stuff
That's
there.
very good, beautiful. I can't eat the chips, so I'm going to have to get a fork. And yeah, you don't care.
Yeah.
All right. A lot of that fish has been on the dropper loop up there in the
Yeah.
Channel Islands. And Tucker McCombs, who runs the Endeavor, says 90% of the time when we fish sea bass, it's with a dropper loop up here.
Yeah.
So that's
I would
been
say
the thing.
for sure, almost 100%, especially if you have squid. But you just don't always have squid.
What the?
Full spread here, yeah.
Oh, my God. Anybody want to come down with us tonight? Greg, this is unbelievable. Look at that, Sam.
Wow.
Gifford, you're going to
camera
eat. What's that?
Salmon.
Salmon?
Garlic satay, and this is, excuse me, that's teriyaki, and that's
Hold that up to the camera there, Greg, will you? Thank you. Beautiful. What the heck is going on? This is beautiful. Greg, it's
That's
all
cool,
keto
man.
friendly, too. Oh, my God. Thank you. I don't know if we're going to eat during the show or what. You're probably going to take a snack, aren't you?
A little bit, yeah,
Man,
yeah.
that salmon looks outstanding. All right. Yes, if there's anybody out there who'd like to join us, Sam says, come on down.
Yeah, for sure,
Mi
man.
casa es su casa. 540 Slinger. Good evening, Phil and Sam. That is Jeff Yeomans. Jeff, great to see you, my friend. David Alcantar was on a day-and-a-half trip over the weekend, and the bluefin tuna were there when you found the right school. They were biting. We suffered heavy losses. I was blessed to land two. Nice going, David. On heavy jigs, stay away from the tangles. That's always super good advice. David, what boat were you on? And did you have a hot jig? I mean, we're talking about Daiwa SK jigs here. Did you see something different? I love ginger.
Yeah.
Okay. Isaac says, good evening, gentlemen. Joel Lopez, for the dropper loop fishing that's going on for the sea bass right now, would the three-way swivels work just as fine? I like the option of putting fluoro for the hook line. Do you think that's necessary?
Doesn't seem like it. You know, I don't really hear those guys always talking about that so much. But, I mean, you know, it ain't going to hurt you for sure. You know, I mean, a lot of times when they're fishing that fluorocarbon for the sea bass is when they're in the kelp and you're dealing with kelp and the fish kind of getting in there. But you can always tie the fluorocarbon on first and then tie the dropper loop above that knot. That's one way to kind of add fluorocarbon to your equation there, Phil.
Yeah. Oh, no, I was just going to put it so it was in front of the camera there.
Oh,
There we go. It's right. I think people can see it. Maybe they can.
yeah.
Beautiful. So,
But yeah. So, and that three-way swivel, I know a few guys have been buying those lately. They're plenty strong. You know, they make those things up to like, 70, 80 pound test breakage, and we're only using like 40 pounds. So I think you're good. I know Owner sells some. So does a couple other companies there sell them as well. Spro, I think we have some as well from them. But yeah, I think that's one way to do it. That way you can add your fluorocarbon on there, whatever size you want.
all right. Are you looking forward to the CCA event? That's going to be a lot of fun,
It's
isn't
gonna be
it?
a big one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, it's one thing too. As a note, I got to post it up on our social media, and I'm going to put a note on the door. Is that we're actually going to be closed, for the most part. We'll be closed, but up until about maybe 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock when the guys come back from the event. So if you
On
guys
Saturday?
on Saturday, yeah. I'm
Oh, so you're going to
go
be open at 4 o'clock in the morning for the
No,
surfing?
no. Well, yes.
Yeah.
We'll be open at 5 in the morning. We'll be here. We won't, for the guys signing up. But when it's time to go and get to that event, we're going to close up and be at the event, CCA event. All of my guys are going to be down there. And then when the event's over, we'll come right back. So for you guys that need to get some stuff done Saturday morning, I apologize. But this is kind of a big deal, and I want to make sure that all of our guys are able to participate.
Why is it a big deal?
It's a big
Because it's a
deal.
big deal, and I don't think a lot of us understand the gravity of what's going on right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I look at it this way. I think that sometimes people look at it and say, well, why would I do this or why would I do that as far as giving money or putting effort in, closing the store for a couple hours. I don't see it as really giving a whole lot. I think it's a pretty minimal amount what this organization is asking us to do in order to help them do what they do, which is basically fight for our right to fish. Sometimes we take it for granted that you just buy a ticket to go on a boat and you go fishing and that's that, or maybe you take your kid to a lake or you take them to go fish off the pier or things like that.
Right.
We take that stuff for granted. And the reality is that, some of that stuff is in jeopardy of not being available for us or for future generations if we don't fight to protect it, And sometimes we take verbiage like that, like we got to go to some office and break windows or something like that. That's not what we're doing. This is all a legal, matter that we're basically showing that we're taking interest in, and showing the people who make those types of decisions in legislature that fishermen do want to fish, and they in turn will look back and see what their constituency wants. If their constituency wants to fish, then they try to make it easier to fish. If their constituency shows that they don't want to fish or that they're not interested, then of course they're gonna take the other side. So
Yeah.
we always got to show that our side is interested in keeping this type of culture alive, and that's what we do by showing up a couple hours. I mean, the event's from 11 to 3, but realistically by 2 o'clock it's pretty much over. So it's actually just a short event. You guys take a couple hours out of your life and go down there and support, give a few bucks to a great cause, and those are the guys who are speaking up for us, in Washington and in Sacramento. So, we already know that it can happen. I mean, we have our living with MLPA closures. That's a real thing. There's certain areas we can't fish or off, probably potentially for forever.
Yeah.
The last thing we want is more of that to happen. We all know that as fishermen, sport fishermen, we really have such a small impact on the biomass and the fishery that we're fishing, and so it's kind of unfair for us to take the hit like that, But I get it. On the other side, we're an easy target. We're the guys who don't fight back, and so if you're gonna pick on somebody, you're gonna pick on somebody who is gonna be an easy win. And unfortunately, in the past, fishermen and outdoorsmen have just been an easy win. So this is our chance to show that we are how could I say, we are cognizant of the idea that this is something that we want to keep doing and be able to provide for our kids to do at a later time. So,
And you know what? I've had a couple of fortuitous things happen on the morning briefing. Not actually on the morning briefing, but I don't know if you've seen. Did you see the little girl, Isabella?
I didn't. I
Oh
missed
my
it,
God.
yeah.
So Isabella goes up on the Endeavor with her father, Eddie, and she catches her first white sea bass. She's the cutest kid. I'm guessing 9 years old, something
Okay.
like that. And so she catches sea bass, and I put her on because she deserved to be on.
Yeah.
And then today's, she sends me this beautiful thing about her dream was to be on the morning briefing someday, and she realized that. It was so cute, and you could just see that father-daughter thing going, and how healthy a sport this is. And then over on the Grande, Israel de la Cruz, who's on here all the time, celebrated his son's birthday, I think 10 years old, Isaac, great kid, and same thing, man. I mean, they caught some yellows and everything else, but it was more about the crew celebrating his birthday with him, everybody on the Grande making it really, really special, father-son thing going on. That's what this sport is all about.
Well, and even past that, you think about Israel and you think about the girl's dad. I mean, I got to imagine at some point they had some type of experience in their life fishing, whether it was on a pier or whether it was on a lake, that kind of inspired them by someone in their family, to take this up as a hobby and as a sport and something they want to teach their kids and their family. And all that stuff usually starts somewhere on the coastline, and unfortunately with MLPA, so much of that coastline's already been taken away that really what you're doing is you're eliminating the opportunity to even go fish and have that experience that you can pass down to your kids. So that's really the deal. I mean, we can all pay to go on a boat, go offshore and say, well, doesn't apply to us. You know, I'm 40 miles offshore or 100 miles offshore. And you could say, well, that doesn't apply to me. I don't fish on the coast. But at some point, somewhere, most of us have either had an experience ourselves or somebody before us had an experience on the coastline that directly, you know, was passed down to us. And now we're, you know, doing whatever it is you do, whether you kayak fish or go long range fishing or whatever. So it all kind of starts on the coast, and protecting those coasts and access to it is really, really important for future generations, you know, to be able to have the opportunity. So that's basically what it's all about. Is it's just showing up for a couple hours, giving a few bucks, and showing the world that we do, you know, care about our fishing industry.
All right, sounds good, Sam. Well spoken. I think Greg, did I say lobster tails?
I saw a lobster tail there. Yeah.
I'm holding on, man. Lobster? Are you serious? Man, I'm
Yeah.
starting to feel special here. Brian 034 says hello to everybody. Nolan says Denver 37, 24, end of first period. All right, thank you very much, Nolan, for the update. Brian Brown, hey Sam, in what scenarios would you use the squid tracks, and what freaking kidding me? What? Hey, show that.
Oh my gosh.
We got to get some people down here.
Yeah.
Hey, show that to the camera there.
You guys better. Someone needs to show up
Oh
here.
man, I'll have one of these shrimp.
This is freaking incredible.
Swordfish, thresher.
Swordfish, thresher, shrimp, lobster.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, and then it's the ahi.
We got some ahi, you know, sushi here. We got some ceviche, salmon, lobster, swordfish, thresher, shrimp.
Friedman Adventure
Gosh.
family members, we're going to be here for another hour. Come on down and help us eat this. I'm serious, right?
Someone's got to come down. This is
Come on.
way too much food. Yeah,
anybody
this is
close
crazy.
to Carson, you can be here in 40 minutes. We'll
Yeah,
have plenty
yeah.
of food. Come on down and help us take care of this. Greg, you're number one.
Where's Michael and Dan?
I don't know. All right, here we go.
Somebody better be coming.
Let's see. Brian Brown. Hey, Sam, the lobster threw us off.
Yeah.
In what scenarios would you use the squid tracks?
yes.
And what size? 90
Well-
people watching, by the way, right
Yeah,
now.
definitely. I would say, you know, anytime you're going to be fishing inshore, anywhere between, I would say, 120, 140 feet or shallower. And they make those all the way up to 150 millimeter size, which is a pretty good size, down to like, I think, like 95 or something like that. So you know, just like any other jig, the deeper you are, the larger the jig. But so that's going to be your first consideration as to where to use it. But it's going to be more of a bottom fishing jig. Pretty good, I would think, halibut jig. I think with this fluke craze that we've had, guys have kind of forgot about those squid tracks, but I think those would work just
Yeah,
as
those
good.
things are cool. I
Yeah,
definitely want to catch a sea bass on that. That would be fun. All right, let's see. H2K. Which would you recommend for a Tiagra 20, International 20, and the Macaira 20 for nighttime bluefin tuna fishing as your heavy setup?
I would definitely go with either the International or the Macaira. The reason I like those two is they're a more modern reel. They're a little bit smoother, lighter than the Tiagra for sure. And so that's basically the reason I would go. It's just a lighter reel, more modern reel. It's topless. I don't think the Tiagra 20 is topless.
All right, very good. Yeah, and we're proponents of topless down here, right?
Especially reels, yeah.
Yes, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. All right, David Alkins, he says, Chewy, Macaira 16, 80-pound braid to 130-pound leader to 300-gram West Coast Jigger KB jig.
Yeah.
All right, that's good, and he thanks him. Scott Buchert says, please, people, order Sam food. Yeah, that's what we really need. Scott, why don't you
Short
come
on
down here and
food.
help us eat
I
this?
know.
I saw Gifford just eat the salmon and shake his head like it was really good. So
It's all right, huh?
yeah, I think so. Turbo T2 with a $5 bill. We thank you so very much. Turbo T2, it is deeply, deeply appreciated. He says, Sam, I have a Talica 25 with 100-pound hollow spliced to 100-pound fluoro. If I were to go up to a 130-pound leader, would you recommend switching to a wind-on?
Yeah, it's a real good solution right there. You know, we can put a hollow loop into your hollow 100-pound. That'd probably be your easiest way. Well, I think he's the guy from
Tennessee. Tyler's
so-
his name, I believe.
Yeah.
Great guy.
So I don't think he can drop that over here. But if you can put a hollow loop into that hollow 100, yeah, a 130 with a Wino would probably be the easiest connection.
Carlos, what size lead head on the Fluke? I missed it.
Well, from half ounce to an ounce, that's probably where you're going to be in the range. Maybe even up to a 2 ounce would be the heaviest if you're fishing deeper water. But a half ounce to an ounce is probably the more common sizes.
Is he got more food over there?
He's working on something over there. I
Oh
don't
my
know.
God. Please come down and join us tonight. You're all welcome to do just that. All right. Roland, where's Leroy? Where is Leroy?
Not at home.
Yeah. Thank God, right?
He'd be the guy to help us out right there.
Yeah, right. Leroy's at home. We're peaceful here tonight, thank God. Travis says, Bob, you're the man. Shout out to Bob Gifford. Fisherman Doug, 27-37 Nuggets, 11 minutes left in the second. Thanks for the update. Buchert, I'm kicking your butt. Yeah. All right. Where are we here? Let's see. I'm screwed up.
Hi, Phil Salmon, you guys.
You want to read one? Go ahead. Oh,
Scott Bucher with another update, 29 for the Lakers, 37 for Denver.
all right, I'm all cut up. Ceviche looks good. Full spread is mouth-watering. Come on down, Chewy. Come on, Current Jam. Hi, everyone. I look forward to this show all week. Question, private boating. What type of structure do you look for when targeting white sea bass?
Well, it's really going to be more bait conditions, maybe. I mean, water clarity. I think that's kind of more the deal. I'm not really the big private boater guy, so I couldn't give you any real specifics, but
I think you hit the nose on the head.
Yeah.
If you can find the bait,
yeah.
you want to find that squid nest.
That's
and
the
that's
big
where
deal.
that fish is going to be.
Yeah.
And sometimes, sometimes they're just wandering around. So when we were with Tucker, Bob would tell you, we just like covered a lot of ground.
Yeah.
6.5 hours, never found them.
Yeah, you're not going to just drive to them. I
Right.
don't think, yeah.
Until they settle down and then they finally,
Right.
like they're on a beach or something
Right,
and they're
right.
biting with some consistency. But if you can find that squid nest and you're going to see birds sitting in the water, you might see a pot of dolphin going through it. If you see that kind of life, there's probably some squid around, and that's probably a good place to pull back on the throttle and start metering around there and seeing if you can't find something. So that is something you can do, and we wish you the best of luck. Dan Smith, I don't know if the bluefin are going to bite, but Phil and Sam are on the chew. That looks very good. Dan, if you weren't in San Diego, you could make it here. David Alcantara was on the tribute. David, great update. Thank you for that, my friend. Current Jam, looking for a budget-friendly spinning rod to use with my Daiwa Eliminator 8000 with 80-pound braid.
Probably go with that, maybe that Graphtec. They got a whole range of 8-foot spinning rods, but they're still going to be in that $150 to $200 range, depending on which model. Below that, I'm not really sure too much. That's going to be a lot lower than that, without getting into something
He's getting the dessert.
that's really low quality. There you go. Without getting really something that's too cheap. That Eliminator is a pretty capable reel. There you go.
All right, are you finished with that answer?
Yep.
All right, Gerard says, I've been on 4 trips already since March, but no luck yet hooking a bluefin tuna. Any fishing techniques aside from my tackle you can share on both daytime sinker rigs and nighttime heavy knife jigs? So Gerard is a little frustrated maybe, but I mean, that's fishing. It's nothing he's doing wrong.
No, I don't think so.
Anything you could...
If anything, I would say, I mean, if you're on trips where people caught fish and you didn't, maybe try to see what they were doing. But, I mean, about the only thing I can really kind of suggest is making sure your line is marked. Know how deep you are. That's probably one of the most important things, as far as hooking those bluefin is kind of getting that either jig or bait right in front of their nose. If you're off 50, 60 feet or 100 feet, which is very easy to be off that much, you're just not gonna hook them. A lot of times, especially when they're hard to hook. Sounds like he was on trips that were a little bit slow.
Yeah.
But
And there's been a lot of those lately.
either mark your line every 100 feet, kind of so you can see where you're at. Increase your chances there, or get some line that's already marked.
So I put up a video, and it was the San Diego. They were in a bite. They had 8 fish recently, and Booger was on deck, and he said out loud, so here it is. Here's the tackle tip. He goes, drop your bait down slow, wind it back slow.
Yeah.
And so that's what he's talking about. So obviously you're getting bit while you're dropping it down slow, because you drop a bait too fast and it screws the bait all up. So you go down slow, and then it sounds like you're getting bit on the line, coming back with it too.
It makes sense too, because whenever you go through that zone or where their fish are at, you're probably going to go through it a lot slower. So you're just going to be in the zone longer. So sometimes it's kind of hard to know exactly where to be, but if you just go slow, you're just basically going to be in the zone longer where those fish can eat that bait.
Isaac just sent us a $20 bill.
Isaac's the man.
He is the man. Look at all this food. Is he getting more food out there, or what's he doing?
I don't know.
This is insane. I wish somebody would come down and help us eat this. Why aren't you eating it? All right. Well, don't let it sit there too long, or you're going to catch some kind of food poisoning or something. All right. Ed Cruz says, hello, Sam and Phil. Chewy, I take my kids fishing all the time. So he's mentioning Isabella Berrigan and her father, Eddie, and Israel and Isaac, and my kids, and your kids, and so many kids that get a lot out of this sport. It's more than fishing.
It is. It's showing them the outdoors, and that there's something else out there other than what they see on TV or on their device. Just showing them that there's a big world out there.
All right, Christopher Martinez is late, but he's here. We're happy he's here, starting to push up toward 100 viewers, even with the Lakers playing. Rocket Dog is saying hi to Jeff Yeomans. Chewy, let's see. This thing screwed. Oh, here we go. Chewy says, I might make the drive from Temecula. Come on down. And if you get here a little late, we'll send you home with a nice doggy bag. Ed Cruz, hey, Phil, Sam, I'm going overnight fishing this weekend on the new Hustler. What lures do you recommend? You're fishing tuna, I'm assuming. So.
New Hustler, no, that's up north.
That's right. Yeah, he's up there.
So those guys are going to be fishing mostly rockfish and white sea bass. So once again, as far as lures, we'll go back to the white fluke. I mean, you can't go wrong there.
Probably dropper loop rig is going to be the best.
Yeah, hopefully they're going to have some live bait for you. They normally do. They'll have some live squid. But dropper loop, either going to be a squid or a sardine. So you may want to make sure you have a variety of hooks. And then maybe some rockfish jigs, something heavy, some diamond jigs, things like that, 4 to 8 ounce diamond jigs.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Because, I made the comment the other day that a bad day's fishing in the Channel Islands is going home with limits of rockfish. That's a bad day, right? You miss on the sea bass.
They're only 3 pounders instead of 5 pounders.
Yeah, which is to say there's no such thing as a bad day. The only thing that'll screw you up there is weather.
Yeah.
And, if you get weather, then you can get screwed.
Not much you could do there, yeah.
God, I mean, these guys that take home this fresh fish. My niece, we dropped some off with Connie up there in Ventura. She sent me a note and said how good it was. This guy made fish tacos for Mother's Day. Said it was phenomenal. So, yeah, I mean, you just can't buy that quality of fish.
That's so another good. One, too. We look at, the CCA thing, the access to that resource. I mean, it's some pretty good eating. If you guys at all like any kind of outdoor stuff and eating from the outdoors, I mean, geez, that rockfish it's as good as it gets.
It is. Yeah. It is. It's got to be my favorite. All right, food looks amazing, says Chewy. Rocket Dog, now I have to ask my wife for a pass to shoot down to Carson and get some grub. Get over here, Rocket Dog. Come on. Come on. And don't put on here, is it okay if you come? Because I may not see your comment for a while. Just come, right?
Get down here, yeah.
We're good with that. You can be on the show with us. Matthew Martin, great show, guys. Question for Sam. What does he recommend, lures and bait, for the shore fishing tournament this weekend? Thanks, Matt.
Bait, probably going to be lugworms.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be one of your prime baits for stuff like that. The biggest deal is probably going to be like an area that you fish. There's definitely some areas where there's more halibut, some areas where maybe there's some bigger surf perch, things like that. The fact that it's a 2-day tournament, you can go pretty far. I had guys today that came in that were kind of asking about the tournament that are from San Diego, and they're going to fish down in San Diego. I know that there's some spots they were telling me down there for some big spot fin croaker.
Oh, that's great.
That's one of the tournament categories. And then
they do not bite artificials, by the way. They bite bait.
Yeah. So you're going to get those on those
worms.
On those worms for sure, And then, your Lucky Craft baits, I mean, I got to imagine that a lot of guys are going to be throwing those targeting halibut. Because the halibut's going to be a special kind of like by length, I guess, total length or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So I definitely would be throwing those for sure. And if you're just trying to get some volume, there's hard to beat that camo sandworm from Berkeley.
Yeah.
I definitely would get some of those, but it just depends on where you're going to be fishing. Every beach kind of has a different deal. Maybe even throwing some small spoons, things like that. Those
Little
small mini jigs,
Castmaster, 3/4
crocodile.
ounce crocodile works
Yeah,
great.
get into that yellowfin croaker too. So you want to kind of take everything because there's different categories, but small jigs, and then if you're fishing some of those areas, spotfin croaker, those worms. Yeah.
Matt, and also if you put in a search on Friedman Adventures on the YouTube channel, sandworms, I did a video on how to dig up sandworms at the beach, and they're super freaking good.
You feed them milk or something like that.
How'd
Right?
you? Yeah. Oh, I did that too.
I
Yeah.
remember that.
You saw it was stupid, wasn't it? I went down the beach, and these Vietnamese guys. I go, I'm fishing. I got a blue perch, or I don't know, a barred perch or something. And these guys are freaking buckets just full of fish. And so this one guy, Peter's his name. I got to be real good friends with him. I go, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And he goes, we dig up sandworms here. Look, and he showed me the whole thing. And then, while he's showing me, the rod's going, another big spot fin. They just get all over it. So those sandworms are endemic to the environment. So those fish are used to feeding on them. And it's such a good thing. Those sandworms, incidentally, just to get off topic further here, they feed on the grunion eggs.
Oh.
So anywhere you happen to know there were grunion, I know in Surfside down by the jetty, there's going to be copious amounts of sandworms. And watch the video, Matt, and you can dig your own. It's a little dicey sometimes, but if you're patient, you'll be able to make it happen. Kadeen, EDU, what's your guys' take on slow pitch jigging for tuna?
It's kind of a daily conversation now.
Yeah.
In the shop here, and the kind of the gist of it all is it's a technique and it's a lure and it's a system, just like any other. That sometimes is the way to go. Sometimes they want to eat bait. Sometimes they want to eat a jig. Sometimes they want to eat a flying fish. Sometimes they want to eat a mackerel. So it's important to kind of treat it not as an end all, like, well, I won't do anything else. I'm only going to do this fast pitch jigging, for the tuna. And so to me, I think it's been something that I've observed often enough worked better than other methods that it's important to kind of have that as a tool in your toolbox. So I'm going to say that it's something that definitely works for sure, and it's something you have to kind of explore. The tough thing about it is, like some other kinds of fishing, is that it's a special technique. It takes a special rod. It's not just a special rig. It's a special rod, special reel. The jig, most people have all the jigs already, but I think the technique and the way you do it is something that, for some guys, they just don't want to mess around learning something new. But I've just seen it often enough where we catch 30, 40 fish in a night, and those jigging guys catch like 25, 30 of them. I mean, a large variety, amount of them. So I think it's definitely something good to learn, but it does take some practice.
Yeah. Daniel Lightfoot, looks like I picked the wrong night not to go down there. Now, do you know who that is?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, he looked like, I rewatched that video. It looks like we got the guy from ZZ Top sitting behind us. With that big
beard.
But there's another guy.
Yeah.
He's the grandfather of Michael Limon, the kid that wrote the essay on yellowfin. He wasn't doing very good in school. Now he's doing exceptional, and fishing is the vehicle that made him study harder.
Yeah.
There's another one of those examples.
I mean, there's millions, there's millions. Yeah, we got to protect that for sure.
Exactly. Joel Lopez wants to know, he said, a lot of guys aren't getting off the dock right now. Do you have any captain deckhand interviews in the near future? I have to do that, Joel. I'll start working on that. Yeah, because pretty soon those guys are going to be just gone. Dropper loop for a halibut or other setup, Slam and Sammy. Yeah, dropper loop, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely, Sammy. I mean, that's what Tucker McCombs was recommending up there. And
especially if you have the live squid. You don't always have it. That's where these flukes come into play. But if you have the live squid, it's going to be hard to beat.
All right, Callie Hook says, much love and respect to you two gentlemen. Love the show in my hometown with Big Sam. Hey, is this his hometown? You better get down here and have some food with us then, man.
Yeah,
You're more than welcome. Thanks for the kind words.
Down.
DJ B, bluefin tuna this week, and back from a 3-day trip. First 2 nights, 4 bluefin, 6 hours of fishing. On the 3rd night, we caught 24. Finding biters with 30 boats around is challenging. Yeah, there's a lot of boats out there right now, so it obviously when they're not biting that
Yeah.
well, you got to have the horseshoe to get on the right bunch
Yep,
and
yep.
make them bite. Hey, this guy Grant Cummings is his name. He trolls around with the Sterling Tracker bar,
Spreader bar, yeah.
spreader bar. He swears by that. Have you heard good stuff?
Yeah, that Sterling's a brand that I know that when the spreader bar, craze kind of first started going, it was kind of regarded as one of the better made ones. And so, yeah, those spreader bars are definitely good. It's one of the kind of the ones that are you would call original to Southern California as far as just people trying them out. But I mean, other spreader bars work good, but that Sterling is definitely one that was kind of noted as a good one.
Ruben Camargo, do you have any good ways to mark your line if your braid is dark
No.
color?
No, you're gonna have to change your line, man. Unfortunately, I mean, yeah, it's already dark, so you can't darken it anymore.
Face too much OG. What's your favorite iron for throwing on patties? Smaller jigs or bigger jigs? And what's your favorite iron for the BFT, Sam?
As far as for the kelp patty, smaller stuff, I mean, you can't beat those Ikanas and the Colt Snipers. Although we just got in stock here some of these new ones from AFTCO. They're making these Colt Sniper style jigs, and the unique thing about them is that even though they have the size, they're made of a lighter weight material, so they're not as heavy. So especially
yeah.
on the kelp patty where maybe you see a lot of fish up high, this jig is not going to sink out as much. But they still have they have the more traditional heavy jigs here, which is going to be more like your Colt Snipers Ikana. So you guys might want to check those out from AFTCO. Blue Fever jigs.
Are these new?
Those are brand new. Actually, we just got them in yesterday. We haven't even had a chance to put them out yet. But they even make them to a real big size here. We get into that big bluefin, I know sometimes they want to eat those jigs. This is kind of a new size. That's a bigger size.
More
So
toys.
check that stuff out, yeah.
Yeah.
But then you can't go wrong with the old, Salas 6X down deep blue and white. I mean, that's something that goes well, year after year. And then any of those knife jigs too, 200 to 300 gram knife jigs.
All right, very good. I was going to, 100 people watching, by the way. I was going to say that we're going to get out of here early. We're starting to run out of questions, man. Who knows? Or am I wrong? How long is it?
Maybe everyone who's driving down to get the food, yeah.
They're on the way. Here they come. All right, great to be with you all tonight. Once again, CCA this weekend. Don't forget, we've got the great Redondo Beach Rod and Gun Club surf fishing tournament. You can sign up right here with Sam on Saturday morning at 5 a.m. He will be here. He'll have my coffee ready. Do you have a coffee pot down here?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, you have coffee?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in. I'll be here.
What else?
Donuts? How about like salmon and lobster tails and
I'll just keep these right
swordfish
here,
and bluefin sashimi and ceviche? What a feast. Greg, thank you.
Only the best for the best.
You should come over here and take a bow. Nope. Yes, come on. Don't be shy.
Nope.
You're all clean shaven. You look good. Where are you going for a cup of coffee tonight or something? Oh, tea. Oh. I was a little bit worried about him. He's going to the coffee shop too much,
Really?
That caffeine's bad for you.
Yeah, it is. It's tough.
Yeah. So, all right, I'll keep my eye on him. Give her and make sure he stays away from that. All right, let's see. Here we go. Which reel would make a better pairing? A Saltiga 15H versus a Shimano Oceans jigger for an Ocean Legacy slow pitch rod, 150 gram to 350 gram. SoCal offshore fishing. That comes from Hit 2K.
Yeah, that's kind of your Ford or Chevy question. Both those reels they're excellent reels. They're high quality reels, and you're pretty much choosing the two best reels that both of those brands make. So you're going to be good either way. I don't think you're making a bad choice either way.
All right, so which is it, Ford or Chevy?
It's Chevy for me, but yeah.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to know what you thought. Jansek says, 1, 2, 3, cheese is on the way. Is somebody sending us?
Cheese on its way. Oh, man.
Oh, my God. More food. Jason Lawler, the great.
That's the guy we need here, yeah.
Cheese.
Yeah.
I fell for it. Yeah. That's a good one, man. I'm so freaking tired that I fell for it. Good one, I got to say. Jason Lawler, the great galley cook on board the Amigo out of 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, California. I think Jason's got a trip this weekend. Not only is Jason a great chef, gourmet, As a matter of fact, not gourmet, but he's the life of the party.
He's
He's a lot of fun.
that's the guy. That guy would
He
just
likes
get into it.
coffee too. He's been to the coffee shop
Tell
a
him,
few
bring him on
times.
down,
so,
yeah.
he's had a lot of fun there. So Jason, it's good to see you. Jason, did you see the pot of orcas that he sent me? So they're going by the West End. Man, he shot this pot of. Well, I don't know if he shot it, but he sent me the video, and then I threw it up. And then this whale expert, who I've known for 30 years, Elisa, she contacted me. Oh my God, I want to know more about it. So I hooked those two up. I don't know if you talked to her or not, Jason, but she was really excited about it.
I did.
No, how are
Pretty
they?
good.
He tried. Gifford tried them. He said they were good.
Wolfed it down, man.
Man, come on down, everybody. This is part of the Friedman Adventure family here at Island Fishing Tackle. Join us in this great feast that Greg Bates has put together before he takes it all to the coffee shop tonight. We don't eat it all, so come on. Let's get with it here. All right. Callie says, I wish I could. I live in Vegas. Oh, wait. How long is the flight from Vegas? An hour? Huh? You can do it, man. Chewy, Joel Lopez, Ocean Odyssey is looking for a deckhand and second captain. Oh, shoot. That's good. I'm looking for a job for a guy. Do you think a guy who's 29 and has no fishing? No, I'm not talking about Scott. He's 30-something. Has no experience in fishing, but he's a hard worker and blah, blah, blah. Do you think he could do it?
Yeah.
I do too, right?
Yeah.
Tommy Rothery used to tell me, I don't care if the guy knows anything about fishing. I want him to be people-oriented. I'll teach him
That's
how.
probably the hardest thing. If you're not already that might be a tough one to learn.
Especially in this environment now, right? All right, P.S. Handjack, whatever it is. Kind of a two-part question based mostly on bluefin tuna. First, what brands or companies are making the color-changing line? And do you have a favorite? Second question, does the color-braided line, is it bad in the daytime?
So easy one on the bad for the daytime, no, because you still need to know how deep you are. A lot of times the daytime fishing, you're fishing down deep anyway. Those fish don't always fish on top. As far as brands, you got Iserline, you got Power Pro, you got Odyssey. Those are the three major ones that I know of that are making it in 100-foot markings. So that's the important part. There's other brands out there that make it in like 10-yard markings or 25-foot markings or other types of markings. For our fishery so far, what we found is that those 100-foot markings seem to be the easiest to work with. So that's where I would stick with Iserline, Odyssey, or Power Pro.
All right, very good. Ricky Amada says, if using a Macaira 20 or 30, how much of Iser's new metered line is needed? Full or 300 to 400 yards? Any recommendations appreciated?
So, if that's usually a question that maybe a guy who already has line on their reel might be asking, right? You really only need about 200 yards. That's kind of what you want to get started with. So if you already have line on your reel, take 200 yards off, and then you can put this stuff on. But I would recommend, if you could, like if you got a brand new reel, fill the whole reel. The reason I say that is that, especially with this nighttime fishing, tangles it's just a part of the deal. So if you get into a tangle and you lose, let's say, 50, 60 yards, that might be 100, 125 feet, 150 feet, 200 feet, depending on what, how much you lose in a tangle. Well, if you only got, 600 feet and you lose 400 feet of it or 300 feet of it, you're just not going to have enough marked line left on your reel to kind of be effective. You really want to have, at the very least, as you're going down, 400 to 500 feet, because typically those fish that you're targeting, they're going to be maxed out at about 350 or so. But you got to remember, you're not straight up and down right to the fish, vertical, 90 degrees. You're going to have some scope. So if the captain is saying 350 feet, you probably want to have 450 feet of line out. And if you lose 100 feet to get started with, that 600 feet, you're going to end up short right away. So if you have more than that, it's better. But at the very minimum, I would say 200 yards, which is 600 feet.
Over 100 people watching now. Sam, congratulations on another great show. And since I said we're almost ready to end the show, we have 500,000 more questions. So that's the end of that idea. All right. Charles Zimmer, I have some color braid on my reel. Not sure what brand. When it's peeling off, the line tends to stick to the spool. Have you ever heard that? What's that all about?
Probably when it's brand new. Sometimes the color is kind of a coating, and if it's been on your reel for a while, it might stick to each other a little bit, stick to itself a little bit. But the more you use it, the more it goes through the guides, the more of that coating is going to come off, and the better it'll act. So that's probably the best I can say. Is use it more, it'll get better.
Rick Slater says cedar plug or that Rapala over your head behind you. That's a good one, huh?
Yeah.
Turbo T2. If you can't mark your braided line, tie on small nail knots with dental floss every 100 feet, and you can feel and count the knots passing. You like that?
That's definitely a possible solution, but it really forces you to have your line on, at all times, and it's very easy for the line to come off and maybe skip over your line, your finger, or also too is keeping track of that. It sounds easy when you're just talking about it, but when you got a lot of stuff going on, or a guy yells hook up, or a guy next to you tells you, they need to get under you or something like that, you're just gonna lose count of where you were really easily, in my opinion. So if you have no other way of doing it, I feel like that's an option. But if you're taking the time to tie all those nail knots all the way down, that's going to take you, probably a couple hours to do that. You might as well just put the right line on your reel, is my opinion.
Question for you. When the hell are we going to get into that lobster?
It's all you, man.
Oh my God, that looks good, doesn't it? Come on down, everybody.
Yeah,
You
dripping
just
down.
chew it like a Three Stooges thing, right? All right, let's see. Sniper Gene, thoughts on a clear popper for tuna, and what brand and size clear popper? We've done a lot on that. So
Yeah. So it's basically that Tackle House clear popper. That's the one that kind of started the whole deal. They have a 150 and a 170 size. Those are the two sizes. They make all kinds of other stuff, but we've kind of narrowed it down to that 150 and 200. I'm sorry, 150 and 170 Tackle House clear popper.
All right, PNS, one more question. I have 2 Fathom 40. One is ready, set with color changing 80-pound braid. I use as my 80-pound setup. I got a new Fathom 40, planning to make that my daytime sinker rig. Good idea?
Yeah, that's perfect. I'd probably put 80-pound on it as well.
Dan Smith is right. Hit that like button, please. And right after you hit that like button, jump in the car and come down here and help us to eat all this salmon and lobster and swordfish and what else is there, Greg?
Thresher.
What's going to happen to this food if we don't eat it?
You're going to take it home.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Shoot.
yeah.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Hit that like button, everybody. Boy, the like button's just flying up right after we said that. Thank you, Dan, for reminding me. Faced too much OG. When I said irons, I meant surface irons on patties for the bluefin tuna. But thanks, as always, guys, for answering the question. Yeah, surface iron, what are you going to throw? A Tatty 45?
Tatty 45, yeah. That's probably my number one to go to.
I mean, we say that all the time, but it's because it works.
Well, if you take that size, the Tatty 45, that's going to be basically your larger jig. And every brand has something. Salas 7X, that JR number 7, whatever brand you're going to. But we use that kind of as a guide, to choose your jigs. You might also look at some smaller jigs. He was talking about smaller fish, maybe like a A1 or a Tatty C on the smaller side. But those would be your two kind of like bookmark or bookends as far as your sizes, the Tatty 45, Tatty C.
I think I'm going to sneeze. I'm fighting it. I've been fighting it for like
do it.
5 minutes.
Let's do it.
No, I'm fighting it. I'm going to fight it a little bit longer. Stay tuned to see if I sneeze all over Greg's food. I'll try not to do that. All right, here we go. PNS.
He was completing the question from the previous.
Oh, yeah, okay. Worm King swim baits. We're back, Sam. I think.
That's a way to end the show right there, huh?
Yeah, really. All right. Yeah, we were down to 29 people watching. I'm like, what is going on here? All right, I think we're back.
Something went wrong.
That's what happened up there, right? All right. Let's see. No, there we go again. I think we're good. Maybe.
Hopefully. Do you guys see it on yours?
Yeah.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I see Sam walking back in.
All right, Sam, did you pay the bill on the Wi-Fi or what, man?
Yeah, you're just walking in.
Maybe that's like a silent little, they want us off the air. Sorry about that, everybody. We had a little Wi-Fi thing. So I think we're back now. And let's see. Let's get back into some more questions. Charles Zimmer, does the color braid come in hollow or solid?
In the 130 Iser, you can get hollow, but everything else is solid.
All right, very good. Joe Lopez, what is your pre-fishing trip prep you guys do?
I don't know. What do you got? I don't know.
What is your pre-fishing trip
Trip
prep you guys do?
Get all my stuff together and go to the landing, I guess.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't really have anything that's a ritual or nothing like that. But that would be kind of cool. Some of these guys that are watching maybe post something that they do. Maybe they got a special ritual, put on the right shoe first or something like that,
Yeah, do you do that? You wear like pink underwear or anything like
No.
No, you don't do that? Okay. I know Greg does before he goes to the coffee shop. All right, Bronxy 548, what are your guises?
What are yours?
I don't know what a guises is. What is it? You're probably doing a voice thing, and it came out wrong. All right, California saltwater fishing. Paul Fanning, who was on our trip on the Endeavor. Paul, it was great to see you, my friend, here from California saltwater fishing. He's on YouTube, everybody. For rock fishing, do you prefer a higher or lower gear ratio for the reel? What is the ideal gear ratio for rock fishing?
Probably a little lower if I had to choose. I don't know if it's as important as going out and buying a brand new reel if you had a high-speed gear. But if you had a low gear, would probably be okay. Also, too, you have to consider the size of the spool. As you get larger, a larger reel diameter, you definitely need to go a little bit lower on your gear ratio. But for most intents and purposes, unless you're fishing really, really deep water, just your normal 6-to-1 reel would do fine. But if you could find a lower gear ratio reel, that'd probably be okay. Especially when you get into the smaller reels. A lot of guys, we've had a lot of customers coming in buying their bait caster size reels, the Alexa 400s and such like that. And those would probably definitely be better in the lower gear. But other than that, I mean, most of the higher speed reels these days have a lot more torque than they used to back in the day. But if you have a low gear reel, at your disposal, probably use that one. But I probably wouldn't go as far as saying, you couldn't use it and you have to go buy a new reel.
All right, perfect. Bronxy 548 wants your prediction for the El Nino this year.
It's coming.
What do you think? It's coming, right?
That picture right there, that's why I brought it out.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
yeah.
Should I get it and show everybody? Or?
You can if you want.
Yeah, why not, right?
Probably 20 years ago or something.
All right, there it is. That was an El Nino bite, right?
Yeah.
That was on the 3/4 day boat premiere.
Premiere out of 22nd Street Landing.
Yes.
When they had that boat. That was pretty
Magnificent.
awesome.
Yeah, it's down in San Diego now, right?
Yeah, hooked a marlin that day.
You did? Mm-hmm. That is a cool thing to do
For
locally.
about 10 seconds.
Where were you?
I don't know, Horseshoe Cup, I don't know, outside.
Oh my God, that's bitching.
Yeah, in the channel. I don't know, it wasn't outside of Horseshoe, but in the channel. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, that is really cool. My prediction is there will be marlin and wahoo biting off the jetty in Surfside. What do you think about that?
Yeah, you used to cut albacore for bait, right?
Yeah, right. Right up there with my albacore predictions, right? DJB at 75 likes the hot knife jig color this weekend will be revealed. Support Friedman Adventures. Thank you so much. Joe Lopez, do you guys know these past days white sea bass bit nice? It was like a short window kind of bite, like a plunker bite. All right, yeah, Joel Lopez. Yeah. There was some misses. There were some guys that got them. So hopefully things are getting back on track where everybody's getting them. DJB says that Charles Zimmer, I know Iserline makes the hollow in 130-pound. Everything else is, my thing.
Solid.
All right, thank you for doing that, for saying that. Ruben Camargo, video frozen here. Hopefully we're back, Ruben. Joel Lopez, how are they catching the yellows at San Clemente Island right now?
Live squid on
dropper loop,
maybe egg sinker. I know that I saw in that report too. They got some fish on yo-yo and also on the surface iron too. So that yellowtail looked to be a little frisky, up in the chum, maybe even biting some fly line baits. But probably most likely it was going to be on the squid.
All right, very good. And a lot of guys saying, "Come on, restart the show." I think we're back, rocking and rolling now. Thanks, guys. Thanks, appreciate your patience. Dan Smith says it's good now. Everybody else is good. Dansky, hey guys, thanks for helping me decide on the Macaira 20. I was able to pick up the last one in stock at the Dana Landing sale. Got it spooled with free 130-pound Spectra. Absolutely love this show. Dansky, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Are you anywhere near Carson? Come on down, have some lobster. That lobster, man. Why don't you eat some of that? What's wrong with you two? Go ahead, eat some. All right, they're waiting for us, I guess. All right, and we've been going 71 minutes. We were down to 20 viewers because the thing froze.
Because there's nothing to look at.
Starting to push up to 100 now again. All right, Pando. Oh, wait a minute. Joe Lopez, I think. Wait a minute, no.
No, up above. Tried reloading. No luck.
Oh, okay. Tried reloading, no luck. For your information, as promised, the hot knife jig color this weekend, for what it's worth, was a red and white candy cane 320 gram. Appreciate you sharing that. That's a hot jig anyway, right?
Yeah, the last couple of years that's been a good one, yeah.
Joe Lopez, what's the first application rod, reel, line setup you're picking up at first stop on white sea bass trip right now?
Probably 8-foot rod, 30-pound test, I'd say.
Yeah.
30 or 40, and probably 30 pound.
Yeah. Sea bass are, I wouldn't call them, wouldn't call them, say that it's not a good battle. It's a good battle, but they kind of make that like too steady.
Not a yellowtail.
Right.
Yeah, they don't dog you like that,
Right, exactly. All right, Pando 56. My 0.2 on marking line.
2 cents, my 2 cents.
Oh, my 2 cents. Thank you. I fill my reel with white hollow core. Then I mark the line by threading different color braid in the center. I use green, yellow, red, blue, and orange in 100-foot increments. Like that. 2 cents, huh?
Bob's got me.
Hey, come over here. Take over, Bob. Come on. Yeah, come on, man. Go ahead. Well, you lost that. I just read that to you.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good. Actually, we did that for a guy a couple years ago, where actually what we did is we took different color hollows.
Yeah.
And we just put 100 foot of one color and 100 foot another color. You can combine those hollows with a very, very seamless connection. And so, yeah, we had, I think, 3 different colors of hollow. We just repeated it, twice, and he had 600 feet.
I hope I'm going to make the CCA thing because I'm starting to feel like crap.
Really?
Yeah, I really am.
You look like
sort of
crap.
lose my voice. Tune in on the morning briefing tomorrow because come hell or high water, I will be there.
You better be there.
Yeah. All right, Joe Lopez, what's the most reliable source or app for checking weather? A lot of people use Windy.
Windy's probably the most common.
I use something called, what do I use? I can't remember. Sail or?
Sail, that's another one,
I think I use Sail.
I think they all use the same buoy info. So
yeah, it's pretty much.
You're pretty good on either one.
And you know what Scott uses, right?
You.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, what's the weather going to be like tomorrow? What's the weather? Daniel says hello. Roland, is Cal's reel service a good investment for my Vizix 16 and 20? I really like to know what's involved in blueprinting them, and is it worth it?
I think so. Yeah, my opinion is that it is worth it. Definitely what the cost is, a couple $100 to get those services done. What is a couple $100 worth to you? Does it require it? Do you need to have it, or else you can't catch a fish? No, that's not the case. But definitely the reel feels better. The reels that I've had done over the years, I can't say that they were unfishable before he got his hands on them. They were fishable, but when I got them back, they felt better. They were smoother. They had better free spool. They were just a little bit better. So that's kind of my 2 cents on them too. Is that they not necessarily make them so that they take something that's not usable into a usable item. They make something that's pretty dang good even better.
Steve Bermuda says he's buying some knife jigs from the Goodwill store for Thursday's fishing. That's a good place. I pick up my jigs there too.
Knife jigs, yeah.
Yeah, why not,
We
right?
have the knife jig section.
Chewy, no SoCal, at Joel Lopez, Windy and Tides is what he recommends. We're getting down on questions here, man. We might end the show early. I can start coughing and sneezing and eating lobster.
We said
so.
7:30, right?
Yeah. What's the Lakers score out there, guys? Can somebody throw up the score for me, please? I'd like to know if I'm still beating Scott Bucher. Besides learning from we've already done this. Let's see.
Oh yeah, that question got repeated.
Oh, okay. All right, Charles Zimmer. Any news on getting colored lead heads in soon? 1/4 to 3/8 ounce.
We got
God
'em.
darn it, Sam!
We got some. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly which kind of lead heads, but if you're talking about the sea bass stuff with the long shank hook, we actually just got some in stock today. We got some of the larger ones as well. This hook from dolphin tackle. You know the what's it called again? The Get Some Head. I drew a blank there for some reason. That's been pretty popular.
Nuggets 70, excuse me, 90, Lakers 70.
Okay, Lakers 70, 90, Denver. Go ahead.
But also to the banana heads. We actually have those in stock already. The banana heads from a 1/4 ounce up to I think a 2 ounce with a large 8/0 hook. So we got them in stock.
Notice Scott Buchert is no longer asking questions because he's just getting throttled, man. Scott rude. And I always ask him, when's payday? Because with him, it's a mess.
Yeah.
So he wanted payday to be tonight because he was going to clean my clock on this one. So, ha ha. All right, just kidding. I'm already starting to feel better now. All right, thank you. Denver 93, 72. Chewy. We're getting all kinds of Lakers scores. Thanks, guys. Really, really appreciate it. All right, Steve says, I skipped. Hey, you skipped my quote. We'll put it up again, Steve, or I'll go back and start looking for it. Steve Bermudez, do you know that the knife, okay, Matthew Tamayo, question was cut, when the Wi-Fi was down. Yeah, sorry about that. You might have to re-ask it. Weight of homemade knife jig is 2 3/4 ounce, says Steve Bermudez. Charles Zimmer, what size crocodile do you use in the surf, and can you show us the jigs most commonly used? I like that 3/4 ounce crocodile. I think it works great.
grab a couple?
You might as well. Chuck Zimmer just throws a $20 bill. How can you beat that? Thank you,
Chuck's the
Chuck.
man.
Chuck, I love that 3/4 ounce crocodile. Also super effective is the Castmaster, and I've seen like the bronze or the gold color one be very effective. The chrome one works really, really good. But those are a couple of lures that work super good. And remember, when the wave breaks, when you see the wave break, that's when you make your cast. You don't want to cast in front of a breaking wave. It just screws up everything. So you let the wave break, make your cast, and then start winding through that white water. Remember, when those waves break, Chuck and everybody who's listening, it's dredging up all kinds of, shells and sand crabs. And so the fish stage behind those waves, they break, and then they shoot in there and start zooming around and looking to see what's been dislodged from the sand and what they can consume. And if your lure is coming through at that time, you stand a very good chance at getting a bite. You see, you have to think like a fish. And I am uniquely equipped to do that with my IQ. I'm really, really good at thinking like a fish. So this one is a great jig. For big barb, mostly halibut, but big barb perch will bite it. Big yellowfin croaker will bite it. That's a great one. Is that the what do you call
Craft?
it? Yeah,
Lucky
Lucky
Craft.
Craft. What is this? Oh, this is Nomads. Yeah, that looks good.
3/4 ounce, yeah.
That's going to work great in the surf, right? Here, I should let you take over. You're the
Gonna be
expert.
the crocodile there. This is actually a 5/8 size, but that's your general size there if you want to kind of get that guy.
Flash
you got
jig,
the-
that's a Promar.
Promar jig here, flash jig, 3/4 ounce. I'm sure that would catch some nice fish.
Steve from Promar was catching calico bass on the break wall on the morning briefing today. I mentioned that
Very good.
is the definition of a wide open bite.
He was getting them.
When Steve
When
can
Steve
catch
gets
one.
them.
Yes.
We got these submission fishing here. There's a little micro jigs here, 15 gram, 20 gram. That kind of stuff's probably going to work real good.
These things look cool.
Yeah.
I got to try that.
Really, really good jigs. This might be even something you use inside the harbor for that halibut. But in general, I'd probably be using larger stuff like that. This is a tournament, and you're not necessarily after big numbers. You're after some larger sizes because that's the way that the tournament is based on length, I guess, most of it, right?
Yeah.
Total length of your limit. So you want to fish a little bit bigger fish, even if you get maybe a little bit less fish, but you want to work real hard and get some bigger fish.
All right. Very good. And you got the gull pair, which works really good.
Yeah, and if
right?
you're getting down to where you're just having a hard time hooking them, get them in the bank there. That usually is your go-to.
So in the wintertime when you're surf fishing, it's mostly a bait bite. And of course, the wintertime, that's not based, the fish don't know it's November
Right.
they feel the water. It's cold.
It's just cold, yeah.
And it's still cold. So maybe it would be prudent to fish bait.
I would say, yeah, you definitely want to take some bait, either mussels or the worms. If you can get a hold of some what did we say, ghost shrimp, that kind of stuff. I'm sure the guys over down there at
Big fish?
Big Fish are going to be super busy. The bait's probably going to be something you want to use for sure.
Yeah. All right, Brett Ender, super good guy, fished with us on the Relentless. Greg and Bob both got to hang out with him and his brother and his dad. Really good people. Can you explain hook size? For example, size 1 versus a 1.0. Also, wire size. Thanks, fellas. Best show. Learning a lot each week. Brett, miss you. Hope to see you soon, my friend.
So as far as your hook sizes go, I mean, I'm not really sure how the sizing was developed as far as the system. But when you have whole numbers, meaning something that doesn't have a /0 on it, as the numbers get bigger, your hooks actually get smaller. So, for instance, a size 6 versus a size 1, your 6 is a smaller hook. Now, as you start going up the line, 6, 4, 2, 1, and you run out of numbers, they don't go to 0. They're going to go to 1, 0, 2, 0, or we say 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0. And those numbers, as they keep going up, well, those go up in size. So like a 10-0 would be bigger than a 1-0. So from your sizing, you might go start at a 10 and end at a 10-0, but that has that 0 at the end of it, to the other side of the spectrum. As far as a wire size, that is kind of a brand-to-brand thing. You know, you're going to have, there isn't a universal gauge of that as far as your sizing. But, you know, the best thing I would say is either talk to someone at a local tackle shop and engage. The way I look at it and the way I'll tell a customer is that depending on the gauge is the size of the line I'm going to use. So sometimes they'll tell me, well, I'm going to go tuna fishing. And they'll say, well, what if there's 50-pound tuna around? Well, it doesn't really matter the size of fish. The size of your line is really going to determine how hard you pull in, because if you pull harder than that, then you break the line. So that really determines the gauge of the wire I'm going to go with. And typically your 30 or 40-pound test is kind of your break point to where you go to a light wire to a heavier wire, or just call it a medium wire hook. And then after that, maybe 60-pound or 80-pound is where I would go to like maybe a heavier gauge hook. But there unfortunately isn't, you know, even though some of them might have a 1X, 2X, 3X, 4X kind of designation, that doesn't always tell you the whole story. And if you compare the hooks side by side, you're going to see that even sometimes in the same lineup, like Owner Mutu, their size 4 hook is not going to be the same gauge as the size 6.0 hook. So as they go up in size, sometimes they'll go up in gauge as well. So it gets a little tricky, you know, but you really want to consider it not necessarily going to be on the fish size you're looking to catch, but more the line size that you're fishing.
All right, very good. Dave Clark, 99-80, 3.5 minutes to go. Denver on top, and that's probably a while ago. That game might be almost over. Matthew Tamayo, question repeated. Here we go. Besides learning from a seasoned long-range fisherman or a crew on the sport boats, where can you learn? Yeah, we did
You
that.
just said the question repeated.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. I need your help.
It was in the
I'm going
title.
down the drain here. Okay. There
Oh,
it
the
is.
Lakers came back and won it.
Oh,
just
Scott,
kidding. No, I'm
congratulations.
just kidding.
I know, I see it. Steve Bermudez, the same weight as a Tatty 45. Primo, hello, guys. Should I change out my braid from 3 years ago on my Talica 25? That's a great question. Sam, what
Yeah.
is the answer?
Probably not. You know, unless you know for sure that it's gone through some bad tangles or some bad rubbing on the boat. Your braid should be good. If you want us to look at it, we can look at some obvious bad spots. But to be honest with you, if you don't feel confident in it, then maybe you want to change it just based on confidence. But I have lots of reels that have braid that's older than 3 years for sure.
All right, very good. Jack Sepulveda is a great guy. I saw him at a casting contest. Not that probably was a long time ago, Jack, the way time flies. But good to see you here. Thank you, Phil and Sam. Copious amounts of valuable information. Good stuff. Steve Bermudez, you know how hard it is to find kitchen utensils at the Goodwill? I think they're trying to protect themselves from the liability.
Could be.
Yeah. Did you see that guy down there, Juan Cook, using
Yes,
butter knives?
yeah,
That was pretty cool, right?
Yeah, I can
I mean,
see
those
that
guys,
working.
I've seen that quite a bit, but it was cool to see him doing that. Uh-oh, Bob's getting up. I thought he was going to swoop in on the lobster. Sam, if he does, stick one of these forks in him. All right, DJB. A lot of the San Diego multi-days are spending daytime fishing rockfish when the bluefin tuna fishing bite is not happening. Lots of fish caught, including cowcott, I think. It is sustainable, or should they back off? Yeah, it's sustainable. They're doing fine on that, man. I saw DJB. I don't know if you saw the deck of the American Angler, but that was a beautiful sight. They really put the wood to the rockfish. Great big salmon grouper, reds, all kinds of Floridas, and I think I saw chili peppers and all kinds of really great fishing. Yeah, it's fine. It's Doing just fine. And man, it's good to see guys fishing that deep water. Turbo T2. Can you order Shimano factory parts? Would like to order a Talica 50 handle, cap screws, and plastic spacer.
Yeah, we actually sell those quite a bit. In fact, unfortunately, just to tell you, we sold the last one we had this morning.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I put an order for them in a couple weeks ago, and I think they told me it was going to be, I think late June or mid June or something like that before they had some more. But yeah, we have them in stock normally. Although you may not need all those other extra parts. I know that some of the kits that you see online they'll sell you a whole bunch of parts with them, but we have all that stuff when it comes back in stock.
3 questions to go. Sam, this has been an exciting show. We are, I don't know how long into this show. Almost, what time is it? Yeah, an hour and a half. God, time flies when you're having fun. And when you got lobster sitting there waiting for you. Daniel says the Redondo special is back up and running and doing great. Says good, but I'll say great on the rockfish. That sounds good. Gilbert Ibanez, great show. Is a Makira 15T good 80-pound rig? If not, what would be the perfect 80-pound rig, fly lining, and jig fishing?
I like the 16 a little bit better. I know the 15 is pretty popular because it's a smaller reel, and guys sometimes want to use the smallest reel possible. But to me, if you're talking fly lining, then you're also talking long soak. You might be in a situation where you might be a little short of line at times. That 15T does hold a good amount of line, 450 yards of 80 pounds, so it's not like you're real short. But to me, if you're talking 80-pound fly line, you're usually talking about targeting much bigger fish. And if there's those 200, 300 pounders around, you may need that line. So a 16 would be preferable. The 15's okay, but not preferred.
All right, I have the, Joel Lopez says, I have the pre-fishing trip butterflies or jitters or whatever you want to call it. Steve Bermuda, so I went to visit my grandma's house. Steve's like on the tequila again tonight or something. It's like all disjointed. He's at the Goodwill store looking for knife jigs, and now he's at his grandma's house. I assume there's a joke coming next or something.
Jigs there.
Maybe. Oh, that's probably what he's talking about. Yeah. Hey, that was the last question. I do want to mention that the Apollo is going tomorrow night. They still had room on that trip. That should be a very good trip. And who else? The Freedom is going Saturday night. My friend Tino Valentine. You can call 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro for both those trips. Should we? I almost feel bad calling it, but do you have something else? Yeah, go ahead.
A couple jigs and a couple more CCA.
You're going to get some more questions now. You'd realize that, right?
So these are a couple new jigs here from AFCO. One of the things that we've seen a lot of lately is guys going down to Bay of LA. That's a show you need to do down there.
I'm in.
Yeah, but
let's go, boys. You ready?
These, jerk baits here is another good example of kind of what most guys are buying to take down there. There's other brands for that we saw a lot of, the Yozuri, the Rapala. So that's a real good one here. This AFCO swimmer. They actually let me borrow one of these last year on my 11 day. It was a prototype, and man, I caught a bunch of yellowfin down on the ridge. Really, really a good jig. I think it'll do good up here on the yellowtail as well. So this guy just landed. And then also, too, I want to talk about CCA and one more thing here, just about the guys that are going.
Yeah.
Randy, we were talking to Randy down there.
Good to see him.
Really, really good guy. He bought a table for the guys there at for the crew. So you're going to see all the guys from United Composites, the pro staffers, and some of the workers there. So you'll be able to kind of like hang out with those guys and ask
any questions.
All that kind of stuff. So if you've ever had some of these questions that you wanted answered by a guy who either does that stuff full time or is a pro staffer there, those guys will be there. Also the guys from 310 Rod Works are going to be there.
Darren Dohe.
Darren Dohe is going to be there.
Great guy.
He's coming down. He bought a table. He's also going to be bringing his crew down there. And one of the things that those guys do at that shop that nobody else does is that they build a lot of jigging rods. So I know we've had a lot of jigging questions. I get them here at the shop all the time. I refer guys over to him all the time because, they're pretty much the experts on them. They even stock built rods from United Composites. So if you have some questions on the jigging stuff or just rod building in general, Darren's going to be down there with the boys. Also, we're going to be down there. Like I mentioned earlier, we're going to actually close the store for a couple hours. We'll be back.
Are you bringing your whole staff down there?
Bringing the whole staff
cool.
down there. Yeah, we're going to be closed.
Great.
But
are you going?
Sure. Yeah.
Saturday.
This Saturday?
Yeah.
During the fishing tournament?
Oh,
No,
you'll
it's
decide.
afterward. It's
Yeah.
afterward. So yeah, the fishing tournament is in the morning at 5 o'clock. This is 11 to 3.
Are you going, Greg?
So you guys
Greg's
should go.
going.
Yeah.
Nothing gives you more confidence when you're doing a show in a live audience and the guy in front of you is playing on his phone during the whole show. It makes you just feel like everybody
So
is
engaging.
hanging on every
Yeah.
word out there.
Well,
What?
everybody else out there is playing on their phone too, just so you know.
Yeah, he's checking fish counts because
Yeah.
that's more interesting than our show.
At this point, yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Greg. I appreciate it. Well, if he hadn't brought all this great food, I'd be angry at him right now.
Yeah.
But I can't get angry because he's a great guy. Yeah. Like my kids.
So yeah, all those guys are going to be down there.
Yes.
Be sure,
I
be
interrupted you,
sure
yeah.
to hit them up and get down there and bid on some of the stuff. You know, we're going to be posting some videos tomorrow. I'll be posting some more pictures here as we go along. CalStar just called me this morning that the rod that they made for the event is all done, so we'll post some pictures on that tomorrow. But yeah, I think that's about it on the CCA. I think we got a couple more things.
Oh, we got a
coming
whole
up here.
bunch of more questions
Yeah.
now. All right, and Chuck Zimmer wants me to buy some lead heads from you tonight. Chuck, how many and what
He
kind?
said 20 of them.
He did?
No.
Oh, he probably did. So yeah, Gifford, hey, Gifford's going to grab them right now before you get them, Chuck. All right, let's see. Where are we here? Tony, right? Good evening, Sam and Phil. Watching you from Yosemite and not playing on my phone during the show. Oh, very nice. Thank you, Tony. What's a good spinning reel setup for school-sized tuna yellows and whatever is in overnight to 2-day trips? Hey. Oh, he's taking the lobster. I was just kidding. Put him back. Just kidding. Hey, switch those two plates so people can stare at the lobster. That's a nice thing to stare at, isn't it? Oh, my God. All right. You get that question?
Yeah, so
Can I turn around and blow my nose, or would that be rude?
It would be rude, but it's okay.
All right,
You're
I'll
known
just
for being-
suffer.
You're known for being rude, so
Yeah.
it's all right.
family.
I think Tyler was asking about the handles, and yeah, no problem. You can call down here and we'll hold them for you. As far as the spinning outfit, you're looking at a 5,000 or 6,000 size reel. In the new numbers, I know that some of the old numbers that would have been a really big reel, but something that'll hold about 300 yards of 50 pound. If you wanted to look at that in the catalog, would be just perfect, and that would catch all the size yellows around here. And as far as a rod, you know, something comparable, something that's an 8-foot rod, rated 20 to 50, or that'll hold a braid. Sometimes they'll have braid ratings, sometimes they have mono ratings, but 20 to 50 mono rating would be good.
Watching from Yosemite. How cool is that?
That's awesome.
I love it. All right. Dan Smith says, great show. Good night, tight lines. Chewy, NoCal, Joe Lopez. Book on the legend. Excuse me, I'm going on June 13th, Tuesday to Thursday the 15th. Yeah, the legend's been catching some really nice fish. Charles Zimmer, do you have a good selection of surf reels, and what do you recommend, including line size?
Yeah, I mean, your size is going to be 2,500 to 3,000 is the most common, and then 20-pound braid if you're going to put braid, or 6-pound mono if you're going to use mono.
All right, very good. Some guys are like saying good night, great show, like Chewy. Thank you, Chewy. Steve Bermudez. Is the Redondo Beach, we'll get right to that in a second. Is the Redondo Beach tournament fishing time limited to only daytime fishing? No, I think you can fish all at night too.
From the time that you sign on till what's the time it ends at?
3 o'clock is
3
the
o'clock on
banquet.
Sunday, right?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. While Sam is looking that up,
Oh,
Bob.
Chuck there sold out.
Hey, Chuck. Sorry, Bobby grabbed them all. Yeah. All right, Chuck.
So
Bob Gifford is buying you, so you're pretty well screwed. No, I think we still have some for you.
So the tournament ends 3 o'clock on Sunday.
Okay.
So I think you got to make your last submission before 3 o'clock.
All right, so you got to submit a photo by 3 o'clock, and you'll be in good shape. All right, Charles Zimmer, do you have an open spot at your table? If so, count me in.
You're on, Charles.
All right,
You're on,
Chuck.
Come on down.
Beautiful. Steve Nyes, don't forget to tell people we will be closed Saturday.
We'll be closed Saturday, but just for part of the day, not the whole day. We'll probably be back in here, I would say, by 3. That, like I said, the thing kind of ends at around 2.
Scott Buchert, I bought a table of Friedman.
He did. That's nice of him.
Hey, Scott, thank you. CCA will be very, very thankful. Scott Buchert just
Bought a whole table, huh?
he bought a table.
Wow,
Isn't
that's
that what he
nice.
said?
We're going to need a whole table for all this food. Yeah.
I'll give you a discount on your bet tonight. So whatever it was, knock $5 off just because you're a good guy. Appreciate it. Ha ha. I beat you. Ha ha. Israel de la Cruz. Me and my boss are planning an overnight trip with our sons. Recommendations on fishing out of San Diego or San Pedro for better opportunities for kids to catch fish.
Probably would say San Pedro right now. That tuna fishing, it depends on the size, the age of the kids, but I'm assuming they're like 12 and under or something like that. If they're older than 12 years old, San Diego wouldn't be too bad. There are some opportunities.
But the one thing about San Diego is for kids is that Kelpatty Yellowtail is okay for them.
Pretty good for them, yeah. But,
Yeah.
It's a risk. You go down there and it might be all night. It's kind of not necessarily not that it's not kid friendly, but definitely tough. Here out of San Pedro, they're probably going to be doing more daytime fishing. Might even get to some bass fishing or things like that, white sea bass, something that's probably going to be easier to handle for someone that's a little younger.
Yeah, I agree. Halibut, and then rockfish.
And then the rockfish too.
Yeah,
so
you're going to load up on
more
that.
opportunities to do some different things.
Yeah, you might even think Channel Islands because up there you're going to load
Hit
up
the Freedom,
on the
man.
rockfish.
Those guys are going to
Yeah,
do
the
it.
Freedom. They're
Great crew, and it's a big boat
super
too.
great guys.
Probably your best chance at maybe having a more stable platform as well. So, a couple things to consider.
All right, very good. JC just got back from a 3-day trip, caught the Eddie Bomb
Most
on the
fish.
Intrepid.
Yeah.
Caught most fish on the Eddie Bomb. Okay, very good. Scott Buchert, he's down by 13 points in the Laker game.
Yeah, it's over already.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. That's why he bought a table. He got depressed. Yes, Greg.
It's still going?
Nuggets 108, Lakers 100.
Yeah, right.
That's what I've been watching.
Wow.
What are you talking about? I thought the game was over. What? How much time is left?
10 seconds.
10 minutes.
10 minutes? Somebody said there was 2 minutes
Maybe
left.
that was
That was the
the
third
third.
quarter.
Yeah, yeah.
God darn it. I'm going to get screwed in
See?
this thing. 10 minutes?
10:09.
Oh, my God. They made a hell of a run at him, man.
Been running hard.
All right. We'll see what happens. I'm celebrating prematurely. Now it's going to come back to haunt me. All right. Scott's right. Turbo T2. Feel better, Phil? Sounds like the snivel's coming on. Absolutely, Tyler. But I'm going to forge through it. Who knows? I may not hit the gym on the way home like I had planned on, but hello, Jansex 123. Hello from Yemen.
Jeez, what time is it
Wow.
over there?
Yeah, what time is it in Yemen? I'm guessing, I don't know, probably 6 in the morning or something like that. Is that what it would be in China? Something like that. 15 hours ahead in China.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know where Yemen's at.
It's like noon or
in
something.
relation to-
Yemen's in the
to
Middle
China.
East. Yeah, it's not.
I'm saying in relation to China. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, it's cool.
What time is it there? And thank you so much. Probably a military guy, I'm guessing, right? I think I said that last time. Roger, we want more Greg Obi-Mako.
Bring 'em on.
Who doesn't want it? We should get like Greg Obi-Mako or something to stop by the store and be on the first 15,
pretty
20
cool.
minutes.
That'd be pretty
Have a
cool.
guest special. Hey, yeah, like we don't even announce it. Somebody's going to
Guest,
join us.
Surprise guest.
Yeah, all you have to do is bring lobster tail, ceviche, and salmon. You're on the show. That gets you on every single time. Mike Trunk, watching from
Fiji.
Fiji.
Wow.
Great show. What are you doing there, Mike?
That's awesome.
Fiji's a cool place. I caught some trevally fishing off the rocks there. It's a cool place. Denver at 106, Lakers 92, end of third. Oh my God, they made a run at them.
111 to 100.
111 to 100. That sounds a little bit better. Thanks, guys, for another great show. That food looks delicious. Feel better, Phil. Thank you so much, Senor Tubbs. I appreciate it. Scott Buchert says, now at 7 points. I'm coming for you. He says, Rocket Dog. Have a good night, guys. Enjoy the CCA on Saturday. Joel Lopez. Hey, I was in the store today, and I saw 2 rods that piqued my interest. The Seeker Tactic series and the Range Shadow, both inshore style rods. Any thoughts on these? Haven't seen them or heard of them.
Both great rods. It's on the Seeker model. It's a rod that they normally just make in just a straight conventional, but we had to make a few baitcaster handle setups late last year, and primarily that's a heavier rod for the guys that wanted to throw poppers for bluefins with a larger baitcaster. On the Range Shadow, we have a bunch of them over there, so I'm not sure which one you were talking about, but in general, those Range Shadows have been great. We've been making a lot of them in different models. You know, everything from a bass rod all the way to a big tuna rail rod. But as far as a brand, we've been doing really good with them and selling a bunch of them.
5:45 in the morning in Yemen. I said 6, right?
Yeah, pretty
it was
good.
pretty close. Vinny's Adventure. Hey, guys. How are you? It's great to see you here, my friend. Thanks for all you do, and thanks again for the shout out the other day. My pleasure. Always happy to do that. Turbo T2. Joe Lopez, my 2 cents. Thank God he spelled it out this time for Phil. I needed that, Turbo T2. I did. I have fished the Seeker Tactic 80. Awesome rod. Stout. Used for giant calicos at Cedros Island. And caught yellowtail on them. Handled them great. Great information. Thank you for doing that. Did you get any more CalStar XH?
Sorry, Chuck.
No, Chuck.
I have not.
Chuck did not answer my question on how many lead heads he won, or did he?
She said he said double whatever Bob got.
Oh, he did. All right, well, we've got 63 for you, Chuck. I think that's our last question, so we could actually eat and watch the end of the Laker game.
2 announcements, 2 more. I know.
Go ahead.
I know
Yeah,
Matt,
no.
I know
Then we're
Matt Groff wanted to.
Oh, yes.
To let guys
He'll
know
be
that
angry
he
if
had
we
a
don't.
few spots available on Friday night. He's got a trip on the
Apollo.
Yeah.
Want more Greg Obimeco? There
Yep,
it is for
want
you.
Greg, that's the guy right there. So if you're not going to make it down to the barbecue and want to go fishing, that's a trip you can go on. Also, too, I think there's a new charter boat that is going to be coming into LA. In fact, I think they're going to receive the boat this weekend. It's one of those super high-end catamaran boats. Gosh, I can't remember the name right now. But the name of the operation is going to be called Outcast Sport Fishing. In fact, one of the guys that works here, I'm sure a lot of you guys probably know him, Matt Olson. He's going to be one of the guys running that boat.
This kid that was here tonight?
Yeah.
Does he have a captain?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
He's the real deal, man. That guy,
Yeah.
the guy knows how to catch.
He's super
tuna.
humble guy.
Super good guy,
Yeah.
yeah. And so it's a Freeman, now that I just remembered in my head here. So
Oh, those things are faster than hell.
yeah. It's like a 16-knot boat or whatever. I mean, that thing it jams. I think they said they're going to be able to fish Cortez in like 2.5 hours or something like that, So super fast boat, super high-end boat, brand new boat that they're bringing on. I think it's going to be the only brand new Freeman on the West Coast. So it's a pretty big deal just for that reason alone.
Is it open party or charters or both?
It's going to be charter, from what I understand. Yeah, charter boat. A lot of the guys are doing those charter type things for the bluefin, and so they're going to be pretty much the newest, fastest boat on the coast there. So you guys hit those guys up at Outcast Charters, and they're going to be down there at the CCA barbecue with their crew.
Oh, great.
And so if you want to talk to them about the boat or book a trip or something like that, I think they're going to be offering a few discounts down there at the CCA for being down there. So come on down and see those guys.
Chuck Zimmer says he'll take 5. Now, I think we have to guess whether he wants quarter ounce or half ounce.
Yeah.
Or is it?
And he wants pink because he got all orange, so he wants to get all pink.
Oh, all right, pink. All right, there you go. Charles Zimmer, do you guys give a discount for shining up at your shop on Saturday? Are you giving a discount? You
Yeah,
doing
so
something?
for the guys that are signing up for the tournament, the surf fishing tournament, any kind of surf fishing gear that you need for your tournament, we're giving 20% off. So Lucky Crafts, hooks, line leader, weights, anything that you're going to need for gear for fishing for the tournament, 20% off on that.
All right, how can you beat that? That's awesome. Fantastic. Hey, I think I'm going to make it through this show without sneezing. The minute this show's over, man, I'm going to start
Slow
letting it.
down.
Oh, my God. I'm just like brutal. Sam, it was a great show. I don't know what else to say other than hit that like button out there, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We'll catch the end of the Laker game. Anybody got a Laker update out there that can give it to us?
Nuggets 118, Lakers 104, 7-14 left.
All right, 118, 104. We can watch the end of that, eat
Yep.
some lobster. Thank you all for joining us. As always, it's deeply appreciated. Bob Gifford, thanks for being here. Greg, thank you so much for this absolutely phenomenal, beautiful, what is this called?
Smorgasbord.
Smorgasbord,
Copious
right.
amount of seafood.
Copious amounts. It's a cornucopia of different foods here. So.
Copious amounts of things.
Yeah. Yes. Turbo T2, so gracious of you, Sam. Thank you for your time and knowledge.
You got it, man.
Thank you. I second that. All right. Thanks, everybody. I'll let Sam give one more plug for the CCA tournament as I walk over and shut
That's
this
gonna be
off.
Saturday, Compton Rod and Gun Club. Go on to the CCA California website and look us up there under the events. You'll see our CCA LA South barbecue. Come on down 11 to 3 at the Compton Rod and Gun Club.
For Sam De La Torre, I'm Phil Friedman, thanking our studio audience, Bob Givert, who I went to grammar school with 60 years ago, probably, something like that. Oh my God, we're getting old. Yeah, we're dead, huh? And for Greg, who is headed to the coffee shop tonight with lobster tails. Who knows what he'll chum up with those lobster tails at the coffee shop.
Good night, Diego and Luna.
Good night, Diego and Luna. Thanks for letting dads hang out with us. Have a great night, everybody, and we'll see you again tomorrow with the morning briefing. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Good show, guys.
No, that was terrific.